Hello, and welcome to the Melanated Lipstick Chronicles channel. I am Bree, your host, and I wanted to continue the dialogue on the subject of colonization and imperialization and the effects on the melanated people within those countries, especially the women. These effects still can be felt throughout the world. This also happened in the country of Australia. The Aboriginal people are the native Australians, and they were colonized by the British Empire in the 1700s until the 1850s, and afterwards they were subjected to the Stolen Generation from 1905 to the 1970s. The Stolen Generation was about mixed race Aboriginal children who were being removed from their families by force via the federal and state government agencies who wanted to assimilate these children within the white culture. Girls, especially, were described as at risk, and so they were moved. Young women were sexually exploited by non indigenous men, which contributed to the ballooning number of mixed race children. The government and church members wanted these children assimilated into white society to marry whites. In Aboriginal society, the women were not seen as inferior, but that changed once the colonizers came. Australia's native women are more prone to be in poverty, in jail, and have a high number of reported abuse. They are not seen as ideal victims within that country. There are also other issues throughout other countries. Brazil, who has a large black population, has a high number of discrimination against blacks, especially the women also. Brazil prides itself as a racial democracy, but this is not the case for the black Latinos. Until the 1930s, the country was mostly a mixture of black and mixed race people. But in the 1930s, the country leaders promoted Europeans to come to Brazil and blocked people of color from coming. The black and brown population make half of what the white citizens make in money, and they are more times than not arrested in high numbers. Brazil has a long history of mocking how black Latinos look. In 1996, in Brazil, there was a racist song called Look at Her Hair, written by ex circus clown Tara Rica, that was very popular throughout that society. The song was regarded as playful, humorous to the masses. Sony Music, the distributor of this music, came under heavy fire for it and had to pay back over $2 million of restitution to the blacks in that country. This also had repercussions in other countries also. In Africa, in the southern part of it, which is South Africa, who also has a long history of apartheid and mistreatment towards blacks in the past, has finally made some strides to black people's freedom. However, there's still much to be done. Black women continue to be downgraded for their hair and looks. In 2020 in South Africa, Tresemme, a hair care brand, had online pictures showing black women's hair as damaged and dull and white women's hair as fine and healthy. Needless to say, there was a huge backlash from South Africans about those ads. Black South African women make up 36% of the country's workforce population, and they deserve representation in corporations throughout South Africa. Also in South Africa, the whites make up 8% of the country's active force population, but still have 65% of the top management positions per a 2019 report from South Africa Commissions on Employment Equity. There has been a high number of disproportionate disrespect of black people throughout different countries. In America, there have been many cases of black women and black girls being reprimanded on jobs and schools because of their naturally curly, coily hair. They were told to change their hair because it was unprofessional, uncouth, and not to the liking of corporations in America. Many of these women put chemicals in their hair to straighten it, which caused damage to their hair. This has been a long history throughout the Americas of people of African descent changing their hair to fit in to have a better life. Several years ago, I myself experienced a push to Europeanize my son's dreadlocks and to cut them for a new school I was greatly interested in for him. Needless to say, my son never went to that school, and I did not change his hair. There is some hope in the fight to wear our natural hair without fear of retaliation, such as the Crown Act, which is a piece of legislation that will ban hair discrimination. For centuries, black women have been discriminated against because of their hair texture, and it is about time for a change to come. The Crown Act has been instituted in several different states throughout the United States, and it was signed into legislation recently. There are 18 states in the USA, and there is hope for more states to join. But it is a nice beginning to freedom for Black women's journey of hair freedom. In a world connected via technology, like through social media, where people are more connected globally than ever before in world history, there is still a prevailing need to be associated with whiteness and Eurocentric beauty standards, white skin tones, to speak proper English, to have Euro perceived sounding names, to dress Eurocentric, and to perm your hair. The road to self love and respect is one that is not easily taken by most people today. But I say that through education and through self love and respect, we can do it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And thanks again for watching.